Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to be covering 3 topics. We're going to talk about natural gas and how it's just plummeted and broke down through the 50 simple moving average, what that means and where it needs to go in order for it to be a long play. We're also going to get into the one missing ingredient that UGAZ needs to become long biased, in my opinion. And I'm going to share a natural gas story for you. Found some interesting information in the news. I want to share that with you as always because I think that can help us make informed decisions in the future. So with that, stay tuned. All right, so today we're going to talk first about what is happening with natural gas. I want to go ahead and we're going to jump into the charts in a minute and we're going to talk about exact levels and how that all looks. But right now I just want to talk about what's been happening and why natural gas is maybe just sort of dropping and sagging, and the longs are thinking, what is going on? We're transitioning into fall and nothing's happening, Jimmy. What is going on? The issue is it's still warm. I was just in North Carolina and it was so warm out. I sweat the entire time. I could have swore it was July. It's so warm in the south. Now you're starting to get some cool air up north pushing down, and that's starting to pinch the two zones. And in the middle, we're getting a ton of rain. So that's going to cause a lot of issues as well. But we still haven't seen that winter blast. I don't know if any of you saw Montana, but they just got hit with a bunch of snow. And because that's such a small populous state, it doesn't have as big of an effect on natural gas as, say, the Northeast or the Southeast, big populous hubs, or the DC area. So what we're looking for is the cool down to come on. And that's going to lead me into talking about the one ingredient that UGAZ needs in order for it to become a long play. Is winter. We need winter to come along. So far we haven't had that deep chill that's come into the US, to the Northeast, the Southeast, wherever, and create that cold environment where everyone starts to turn on their heaters and use natural gas. So the minute we get that, things are going to move in a different direction. Now, we have to take that missing ingredient and we have to temper that with the fact that we have more stores than ever before in terms of the 5-year moving average. We are above the 5-year moving average for natural gas storage. Now that's a problem because when you have more supply than you have demand, you get a decrease in price. We need to flip-flop that. We need cold weather to come in, create demand. We need our reserves and our stores to start to dwindle just a bit, and that will create a scenario where prices will push back to the upside. So what I want to do is flip over to the computer and talk about last week's natural gas report. I want to show you where it's talking about the reserves we have in each region of the country and how it shows how they were higher than normal. We'll look at the 5-year moving average and we'll be able to see that we're above that level. So right now, storage is huge. We need it to come down to get prices to go up. So we're just going to hang tight on that. We're going to talk about the natural gas report. We're going to dive into the charts. I'm going to show you the levels. And then the news piece I want to share with you real quick is regarding NextEra Energy Partners LP. Now, NextEra Energy has been known as a wind, solar, clean energy play, but what they recently did was they bought a pipeline that provides natural gas from the Pennsylvania area from the Marcellus Shale, and they currently own about 5 gigawatts of renewables in the renewable market. So what they're saying is that gas is sort of an important bridge to a low or zero carbon future over the next 30 years. So it sounds to me like NextEra Energy Partners is hedging their bet slightly. They're in wind, they're in solar, they're doing a lot of great things in terms of renewables, but they view natural gas as sort of a clean energy as well. And they're using that to hedge their bet against any volatility or issues in the solar and wind areas. Now currently NextEra Energy is the biggest US wind and solar owner within the United States. So by doing this, NextEra Energy Partners is sort of just creating a more balanced pie structure within their own portfolio. They have the wind, they have the solar, now they have the gas. And it's not coal, it's not dirty carbon coal, it's a cleaner technology in their view. So they think if they can just keep that as part of their holdings, that they can offset any disturbance in the other markets with wind and solar. They can help provide clean natural gas to areas of the country who maybe have been using more coal. Maybe as transitions occur and we go less coal-based and more natural gas-based, they'll be well positioned with their new pipeline to help provide liquid natural gas to areas that maybe previously were using coal. So that's your news tidbit, and with that, I want to jump into the charts.
Okay, you can see right in front of you, you've got /NG, which is the natural gas futures. And my, oh my, look at that descent. Look at that pullback we got. So we were talking specifically about the red line on this chart. If you haven't watched some of my previous videos, go back and check them out because we're talking about natural gas and we've been talking all along about some different levels, and that could help clarify things for you in today's video. But this red line right here is the 50 simple moving average, and I was saying just last week that I would really like to see price action come down, touch that 50 simple moving average, and then move back to the upside. Now, that's working out pretty well. You can see we've had this nice pullback. We touched the 50, but then we blew right through it. So I want to see sort of a doji day happen where we get sort of a doji like in here, and that happens in this area, and then we get the next day starting to push and break the high of that previous day. If we can get something along that area, that will be looking really bullish for me. Now, here's the thing you have to consider and have to remember when you're looking to take a long position. I would never go in full size. I would take small chunks. I'd buy little pieces here and little there. If someone wanted to start today, you could buy a little bit today, a little bit tomorrow. But remember, you need your missing ingredient. You're making this big old natural gas bullish stew, and you need winter in there. You need to sprinkle a little winter on top to get this thing to go. And we haven't had it yet. So as long as there's no winter, we're still going to see things act a little funny because our reserves are high. Remember, in the intro, we just talked about when reserves are high, prices are going to be low if there's not demand. We need to add demand on top of that. And that demand comes in the form of cold winter gloves, boots, sweater weather. We need that to come in. So right now, we don't have any big storms hitting other than in Montana, which happened. They had like 48 inches over the course of 3 days, which is crazy. But Montana is not a populous, dense area. It's not dense enough to have a huge effect on natural gas, in my opinion. Now, again, just to take a quick brief break, all this is my opinion. I'm not telling anyone to buy today. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I'm just sharing what I would do, what I'm going to do. And you guys can take that as just information and use it to help maybe make a better informed decision for yourself. But just wanted to say that real quick. Now, I'm going to be watching. You can see we've got these levels set up. We had sort of a wedge that we had drawn in a while back, and you can see we used that as support a little bit, and then we had resistance. You can see our bubbles that we had drawn in. Now we've returned. We're back down here. So I want to tell you real quick, do not, like, you will see a perfect example here. If you would have chased this pop, when we got this pullback, I had people comment and ask me, is it time to get in? If you would have gotten in here, look at this. You would have been waiting through all this pain when we know this was overextended because of the hurricane that happened, because of some other issues that have come in. And that's why we take news, we take fundamentals, and we take technical levels, and we blend them all together to create a really informed decision when we're buying these things or when we're selling stocks and things. We just got to make sure that we take everything into account. Not just technicals, not just fundamentals, and not only news, but we need all three, and we need to blend them all together, and that's what we're getting here. We avoided this. We did not buy here because we were overextended. We came up here, and remember we talked about the 200 simple moving average and how if we got a touch, we could get a rejection. Well, look what happened. It touched exactly right to the point on the 200 and then got rejected off. So now we're in this area which is starting to feel like a supply zone where it might be time to start nibbling shares for me personally and watching this closer. And the minute I hear of any storm hitting the Northeast, any stimulus of winter, that's when you want to go ahead and sort of build into your full position at that time. But for me again, just for me. Now, this is looking really good. I was hoping it would hold on the 50, but as you can see, it's pushing down lower. We might be heading for this support level that we drew in, right around the 2.23 or 2.227 area. Okay, so real quick, let's hop over here to the weekly natural gas storage report. And I just want to show you, this was last week's report, and I can link this in the description, so don't worry, you'll be able to link out and take a look at it. But from the U.S. Energy Information Administration, you can see over here that with our stocks, not meaning stocks that you buy and sell, but stocks or storage of natural gas in billion cubic feet, they call BCF, we can look at the different regions. So you look at the East, we jumped, Midwest, we jumped, Mountain, jumped, Pacific, we jumped, South Central, we jumped, total 3,103 billion cubic feet. We jumped to 3,205 billion cubic feet. So this is a huge thing because this is telling us that we have more than we did on 9/13. So if we come over here to 1 year ago, BCF, look how much storage we had. 2,761 billion cubic feet compared to 3,103 and 3,205. So you can see we have a lot more stored natural gas right now than we did last year at this time. So the issue that could be going on right now is last year at this time, or by this time, we had more cold weather, which caused increased usage, which would have pushed our stores down. Now, the other really helpful thing about this report here is if you come over here to the 5-year average, you can see 2014 to 2018, our billion cubic feet 5-year moving average is 3,252. So we are right now about to break above, and I guess we have now because this was on 9/20, but we're breaking just above that 5-year moving average, which is really crazy because that's a huge chunk of time, and now we're above that in terms of our storage. So supply is huge, so demand is also down quite a bit. So this is just causing prices to sag and push to the downside. So I'm sticking with the fact that we need a big winter injection in this system in order to use some of the stores, get production going, and then push prices higher. So just wanted to review this chart, this report with you. I will go ahead and link it below. It has a lot of really useful information, but every week if you come to this website on Thursdays, they will update with the most recent natural gas report. So go ahead and check it out. I'll link it below. You can use it as additional information when trading these natural gas ETFs. So I'm going to watch this really closely, and I'm going to be updating a lot this week because we're sort of in the point where we can hit a storm and we can see a reversal, and then we could be going to the long side. So natural gas could get really, really exciting this week, and I want to keep you guys all on top of it. So turn on those bell notifications, hit that like button if you like the video, and if you're new to town, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you as part of the Taking Trades family. We're almost to 1,500 subscribers, which is super, super exciting. So I want to thank everyone for their support. If you have questions, post them below. Thank you for your patience over this past week. I've been out of town. I only uploaded 3 times, so I apologize for that. But this week, it's full on. We're going full tilt. So hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, post them below, and we'll see you tomorrow.